Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Hello, my fellow flawless, limitless, sexy, sassy, saucy HBICs. How are you on this lovely morning, afternoon, or evening? How are you all? I'm going to jump right into some basic bitch, and then I'm going to talk about you sincerely overcoming and releasing fear. Fear around manifestation, around what you're manifesting, around your specific person. Maybe it's around money, health, a career, a relationship with your friends, your family, whatever it is that you're currently consciously manifesting. Or if you're like me and you're a multi-manifester, let's talk about finally letting go and overcoming fear and fearful thoughts. But first, if you need help figuring out what's going on between you and your manifestation, please feel free to email me at manifestingwithkimberly@gmail.com. All of my coaching options are in the Dropbox below. They're in the screens that just went by. I have 2 channel memberships that I go live with my channel members every single week. There is the exclusive lives. I go live with them every single Tuesday at 9:30 p.m.-ish Eastern Standard Time, unless it's a holiday, like this week was a holiday. I also have my hot seat / group coaching where I go live with them every single Friday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you get into that group, if that's the membership you choose, you have access to both groups. And that is the only membership that I record and upload to. Okay. I have TikTok, I have Instagram, I have Clapper. I would love for you to join me everywhere else. If you are new here, how you doing? I'm Kimberly, and I am obsessed with manifestation, and I love talking about it, and I talk about it a lot. Yes, and I would love for you to subscribe and join me, come back and visit, okay? And to all of you, if you would give me a like on this video, so my videos can continue getting out there and finding other people who are also interested in manifestation and who are trying to manifest their best lives. Yeah? Okay. So let's jump. So, I'm sweating bad. Okay. It's really hot here and it's hot in my room and I have to close you don't care about the details why I'm hot, but I'm hot. Hence this. So from there, let's talk about first and foremost where our fear is coming from. Fear. We all, I'm assuming, can't stand it. Can't stand fearful thoughts. Can't stand the feeling that it gives your body. I know I don't like it. I've never, ever enjoyed the feeling of fear, right? It's not fun. It can cause anxiety, make us sick to our stomachs, maybe give us a headache, just that overwhelming yuck feeling in our body, fear. Our fear can come from all over the place, right? But when it comes from experiences, we know that our experiences are nothing but manifestations of, who we believe we are or what our beliefs are, our beliefs and assumptions. Now, if you are new here, our beliefs and assumptions are mostly collected in our early child years. And throughout our life, we pick up some more along the way. The good news is they're all bullshit and we can dump them. Yes, we can. We can dump them and become totally new versions of ourselves because of who we really are. And I try to remind you all in all of my videos that you should also be reminding yourself of who you really, really are. And who that is my favorite, pure, unadulterated consciousness. Every single one of us is pure, unadulterated consciousness. Now, what you decide consciousness means for you is an individual thing. From my perspective, it's God. From yours, it can be universe, source energy, higher power, fucking moonbeams. Does it matter? No, it doesn't matter. But it's easier for me, and I out of habit, you'll hear me saying God. When I'm referring to God, I'm referring to your I amness. Your I amness is your all-powerful phrase to use when you're deciding who you are or who I am. Think of I am is like, your way of deciding which version of self you are. Now, it's not just the words I am. It is what you are deciding with your mind that truly matters. But I am is always the place to turn, in my opinion, when we are freaking out over what's going on in our 3Ds, right? If we're not happy with our life experiences. Okay? So fear initially comes from those places, assumptions and beliefs. And what little part of us that loves to remind us of fearful things, fearful past experiences, fear of future fearful experiences, as well as this little thingy's job is to essentially try and keep us safe. But unfortunately, sometimes it works like a bag of shite, and it can be annoying and it can feel intrusive, and that is our ego. Our ego's job is essentially, like I said, to protect us. But what I want you to see ego as, or I would love if you could, as just another layer upon us that keeps us in the unawareness of who we really are. Essentially, we are all here, right, as consciousness, God, universe, whatever you believe in, as consciousness refinding itself, opening itself up, remembering who we are or who it is, right? Because every single one of us is a particle, a fractile, a piece of that one consciousness, okay? Now, what I don't mean is I can never think of the word like solipsism or something like that. I always screw it up, which means like I think my mind is the only mind. No, there is one big fat consciousness, and you and me and everybody else we intermingle with are a part of that one mind. It's a little bit different, okay? But think of ego is just another layer that we're pulling away. Now, does ego stay with us? Essentially, yeah. There is such thing as an ego death, but I do believe, and this is from my own personal experience as well, that as we rise in consciousness, which is what we are doing on this journey, right? We are evolving. We are becoming new versions of ourselves. We are deciding who we want to be. We are making that choice. But as we ascend or rise in consciousness, or like I like to refer to is going up the stairs of states, we are pulling back layers upon layers, like an onion, of things that have kept us in the dark or in the shadowland of who we really are. Now, is it possible to just say, nope, I have no more layers. I am this version of self. I am fully aware of who I am. I have no limited beliefs. That is who I am now. Yes. Yes, that's possible. Yes. So there is no arguing that. I just want to say that. God doesn't have limits. Universe doesn't have limits. Universe doesn't have flaws. And you can decide to be the limitless version of yourself. Yes. Now, is it possible that you're going to fall right back out and you may have to return? Probably. But that's opinion. That's not fact, right? There is nothing impossible when it comes to God, I amness. Nothing. No flaws, no limits, no impossibilities. Okay? But sometimes we look at ourselves as just regular folk deciding to be a new self, the self that has the particular manifestation that we all seem to come to manifestation wanting something specific, right? So if you're not concerned with, I just want to know I'm God and be done with it. If that's not you, and you're thinking, you know what? No, I actually want what I want though. I get that, because that's me too. Okay. So as we rise in consciousness, we're losing more and more of these limited beliefs. And remember what I said, it is possible to just make the decision that you no longer have those beliefs, and wham, bam, thank you fucking ma'am. You change, you become new self, and reality collapses, and the new, lovely, limitless, flawless version of your reality will show up. 100% possible. Just want to make that clear. Don't misconstrue what I'm saying when I'm giving more advice for those of us who fall right back out of that state, or don't trust that can actually happen, so we work our way to the state. Just saying. Just as one of those little disclaimers, right? I think it's easier that when we are having a tough time, that would be the moment you want to really remember who you are again. Because when we are receiving fearful thoughts, most of us believe those fearful thoughts a lot more than we believe in the possibility of actually becoming who we want to be and experiencing what we really want. Most of us have been conditioned to listen to fearful thoughts more. We give more importance to fearful thoughts. And listen, I'm not stupid. I get it. When you have had shit experiences in your life, can it be a little more easier, feel a little more natural and normal to trust the fearful thoughts more because you have experiences to back that up? Yes, I completely am compassionate towards that, because I struggled really, really bad with that in the, a good first year or two on my journey of self. I struggled with that. It was very easy for me to remain in a victim state. And in my personal experience, as we rise in consciousness, when we are not believing and accepting and deciding we are the limitless version of ourselves, yes, we get thoughts that sometimes drag us right back to a victim state, or in a not very beneficial state where we don't feel good. And it's even easier to listen to fearful thoughts. But I want you to know that fearful thoughts have no power to create unless you decide they do. Okay? Think of this as really, because like I said, I call the I amness consciousness God. This is God overcoming human constructs, human limitations. It's God waking up again. It's God remembering who he is. That's what we're doing. So we are aware of who we really are, but it's easy to get sucked back into the 3D. So we need to start looking at our 3D as we don't have to fear it. And I mean it through the depths of my soul. We don't have to fear, and we do not have to be afraid of our thoughts. So for one, if you are someone who is regularly getting fearful thoughts, they're boom, 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 coming right at you. Number one, back to the point of me saying, who you really are is the I amness. You are pure, unadulterated consciousness. Doesn't it make a little sense that because there are infinite versions of you, infinite, do we know what that means? Infinite, a fuck ton, a lot. There are infinite versions of you. So wouldn't it make sense if you know at your core, your pure God consciousness, that you might hear some thoughts from another version of yourself? And when I say another version, I'm talking a totally different reality, a totally different you experiencing a totally different reality, right? Every possible outcome, all potential is out there coming at you throughout your day. So meaning the outcome of, we'll use a specific person example. When you're manifesting a specific person, there is a version of you who is absolutely living that dream life with that person. And there's a version of you who ain't. And there's a version of you who's perpetually manifesting There's a version of you who's with someone totally different. Every possible outcome is at your grasp at every given second from every given thought. You are just choosing which thoughts you prefer to believe, which thoughts you're giving the importance to. See what I'm saying? So when fearful thoughts come up, let's look at them for what they are, as nothing more than, nope, that belongs to either an old version of self, or that belongs to a completely different version of myself that has no power over me. No thoughts have power to create unless we decide they do. Period. So if you're asking yourself, well, then why did this bad experience manifest? Why did that SP break up with you? Why hasn't this SP, maybe you had a relationship with SP and they came in and came right back out. Maybe that happened. Well, why? Because at one point you were that version of yourself. You were in the state of not having a specific person, and you were giving your fearful thoughts more importance. You were deciding they had power. And that's really what we do with our thoughts. We decide, yes, that's who I'm being. I'm being the version of myself that is getting what she wants. But like I said, sometimes fearful thoughts seem a lot louder. They seem stronger, but they have no more power than the thought of I'm having fucking French toast in the morning. It has no more power than that. Sincerely, we just believe it has more power because most of us have had shitty experiences, probably around the things we're manifesting. We've had shitty experiences. We've had shitty life experiences that have told us a different story. But that is because we were not remembering who we really were. We were believing we were a limited version of ourselves. That's not who we are anymore. But I do have to say, just to keep it real, some of us manifesting specific people are looking at the specific person to fill a fucking void. To fill a void within. Now, don't get that twisted. I don't mean that there's anything wrong with having the fucking desire to manifest a specific person and want to have a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship with someone. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm saying the idea is fulfillment. Fulfillment is already here. We already have and possess every single thing to be fulfilled. Manifesting a love person in, a specific person in, is an experience that we are allowed to have an experience. But when we see it as specific person is filling a void, once they're here, it ain't going to be fulfillment if you're looking at them to fill it. Do you understand what I'm saying? SPs are not going to fulfill you. It's not a girl's. They are not going to fulfill you. They might bring you a pleasurable experience, but fulfillment is already within. We need to remember that. We are fucking God. Yes? We are pure, unadulterated consciousness. We do not have to rely on an outside thing, being, person, whatever it is you're manifesting, to fulfill. We look at that as that's an experience I want to have. I want to experience a love relationship with someone. I want to experience what it feels like to be desired, to be loved, to be chosen, to be wanted. I want to have that experience. I want to experience being married. I want to experience, getting married, building a beautiful home, and having 90,000 babies. I want that experience. But I'm already whole and complete now, with or without manifestation. And that is not my fucked up way of trying to lie to you and say, but you got to be okay to not have that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying you're manifesting ass backwards if you're telling yourself you can't be fucking happy until the manifestation is here. That is ass backwards. You need to decide to be the version of yourself that can be happy right now. You can feel like you are loved right now because you are pure, unadulterated, unconditional love. Yes, that's what consciousness is. So When I was first starting my journey, anytime I heard anybody say stuff like that, it would trigger me because I thought it was a dirty little trick to tell me that I couldn't have who I wanted. No, it's don't look at them as to bring fulfillment, right? Even though I describe it as a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship, I still understand that I can be happy and full of love now. I can decide to be that version of myself now. I can give myself that feeling now. I don't have to wait until SP gets here, because then what are we doing? We are consistently being the version of ourselves that has to sit and wait until manifestation gets here. And that's what we're going to experience. Do you see what I'm saying? I think this is the best point in the video to remind yourself, okay? Understand this is a journey of you. This is a journey of self. This is not a journey of SP. How are we getting SP to change? How are we making them show up and love us? How do we make them text us more, contact us more? How do we get that? How do we get there? How do I get what I want with them changing, with everything changing out here? They have to change so I can be happy. No, that is backwards. That is you literally affirming that you're not happy, that you don't feel at peace, or you don't feel joy, or you are feeling miserable, or you're not being texted, which is why I have to say I need texts. Now listen, most of us start thinking logically, like, duh, bitch, yeah, I want the text. I can affirm for a text. Yes, you can, but you can also decide to be the version of yourself that's having what you want right fucking now. You don't have to pretend that the manifestation is in your physical 3D, but you can decide that you are already your limitless, flawless, in a happy, loving relationship version of self right now. You can tell yourself that I'm in the right reality. I'm on the right life track, right lifeline, whatever wording you like. I'm there. And I'm in the midst of watching my own unfolding, and it can happen like that. Watching and unfolding a bridge of incidents does not mean my manifestation has to take 10 damn years. This could happen tomorrow. This can show up tomorrow because I'm in the right place. I'm in the right place at the right time because of who I am. God consciousness. Yeah? Okay. So what can we do when fearful thoughts are coming in? We can instantly in that moment decide and remind ourselves that, nope, that is not the reality I'm in. I don't have to worry about my fearful thoughts manifesting. I don't have to live afraid because I am God, and God has no limits. God has no flaws. I have no limiting beliefs around love, around relationships, or around my specific person. I am in a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship. I can feel like I am that self now. I can make that decision, even if I don't really feel that way on the inside, even if I don't believe it right now, even if my 3D doesn't look the way I want it to. I can make that decision right now. I don't have to be afraid of my thoughts. It doesn't matter that a fearful thought popped into my mind. It has no power to manifest unless I decide to give it the power by deciding, yes, I want that. Thank you very much. Let me have a little bit more of that. Let's make that decision. No, we're deciding to be the limitless version of ourselves that is having the experiences we prefer. We are in the right reality. Fearful thoughts, again, I can't say this enough, have no power unless you decide they do. Just because they pop up in your mind doesn't mean they will manifest. You already know that not every damn thought manifests. Oh my God, you would not. Let me tell you. And thank God for that, you know what I'm saying? Because I've said this before, when I get angry, I think some shitty thoughts, and I would hate for them all to manifest, you know what I mean? But, let's look at this as I am pure, unadulterated consciousness, and I can be any version of myself I want to be. I can tell myself, my fearful thoughts don't manifest. I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to listen to anybody else's limited views about my subconscious mind. This is the law of assumption, not the law of a coach's opinion. I get to choose my beliefs. I get to choose what is true for me. And if I say my fearful thoughts do not manifest, any thought that makes my body feel icky does not manifest. The only thoughts that manifest are the ones that make me feel good. Yes. Yeah, there's a version of you experiencing that. Yes, there is, because there's infinite. I could go back and forth on all the reasons why, but I am telling you, make the decision. Make the decision to be the version of yourself that doesn't have to be afraid of fearful thoughts. Fearful thoughts, again, they're just thoughts. And despite the fact that that fearful thought popped up, despite it, you're still right on the right path to your manifestation. You're still in the right reality. You're still the version of yourself having what you want. Why? Because you made the decision. You said so. Simply because you said so. And even though I know that sounds too good to be true, too easy, guess what? It ain't. I'm talking from experience. Make the decision. Who do you want to be? Because you have access to every possible version of yourself. Choose the version of you who doesn't fear their thoughts and knows that all they are thoughts. It doesn't matter that a yucky thought came up. When it makes you feel yucky, that's the time to say, if it makes me feel like shit, then I know that doesn't belong to me anymore. That belongs to a different version of self, because I'm the version of myself that is experiencing joy, that is experiencing complete fulfillment. I am the version of myself that always gets what she or he wants, period. And I know that if I keep standing in my decision, meaning even when I don't feel like it, even when I'm not believing it, if I keep returning to the decision that this is who I am therefore in the right reality. The reality where I get my outcome of choice. Because the focus is on me. Me, me, me. You can't fuck that up by putting your focus on your own self. Your own I amness. So on that note, don't be afraid of your thoughts. They are just thoughts. No power unless you say so. And again, on that note, I'll see you tomorrow.